Florida voters will also decide on a Senate seat next week. Current U.S. Senator Rick Scott looking to keep his job, while a relative Democrat newcomer, Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, is challenging Scott.
And this race will really shape politics far beyond right here in Florida. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska is having conversations with the candidates who both argue they are the best choice for our country.
The race for U.S. Senate here in Florida is heating up, and we've interviewed Senator Rick Scott and also his opponent, Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. They are running against each other. They couldn't be more polarized, but this has broad implications not just for the state of Florida, but for the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Senator, how do you get the undecided voters at this point? What do you want people to know about you aside from the commercials? We met up with U.S. Senate candidates in their final days on the trail. Current Republican Senator Rick Scott at an early voting site, Democrat Debbie Mucarsel-Powell talking to students at USF. What's your ground game now? Like, how are you feeling about this race?
I've been traveling the state now for over a year, and I've spoken to so many Floridians that have been hurt by the policies, the failed policies under Rick Scott.
What's your plan?
So you just talked about the issues. I mean, I think what most people are worried about is they're worried about, their future. They're worried about their job. Inflation's impacting these people. And significantly, they're worried about crime, the border being open.
On most issues, both are locked into their party lines.
I am pro-life, and I don't support the ballot initiative.
We need to protect a woman's right to choose.
With back-to-back-to-back hurricanes hitting the west coast of Florida, both Scott and Mucarsel-Powell have traveled to hard-hit areas. On October 11th, during record floods in Lithia along the Alafaya River, I asked Senator Scott about the recent storms and climate change, something while governor he was previously skeptical of.
I don't think there's any question that the climate's changing. Beach renourishment, sea level rise, studies on it. We did flood mitigation. There was a lot of pumping programs we did and stuff like that. So I think as citizens, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with this. We don't want this to happen. Nobody wants this to happen.
We need to bring investments for more resilient infrastructure to our state, but we have to take action to move ourselves to a greener economy. And what did he do when he was governor? He actually denied that climate change existed. He banned state agencies from using the term climate change. And we cannot allow a climate denier to go back to the Senate. We need climate action, and we need it now.
Then there are the TV ads.
Florida's biggest snake isn't in the Everglades. He's in the Senate. Rick Scott.
Let me ask you one question, because a lot of people have talked about this. The campaign ad that turns you into a snake. What do you say? You haven't seen it.
Rick Scott's a slippery politician who's been ripping you off.
Some people don't like snakes. Do you think the slippery comment at the end of your campaign ad will resonate with people, or do you think they're just going to be creeped out by the snake?
I'm going to let people interpret it the way that they want, but I think, the ad says it all. We're just putting out the facts out there.
My opponent is silly. She's a silly socialist. She's not serious about anything. She lies about everything.
In Tampa with photojournalist Reed Moeller, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.